From the explosive Bijan Robinson to the versatile Tony Pollard to the resilient Cam Akers, several big names can be your fantasy steals for the 2023 season. Without further ado, here are the top 10 RBs to target in fantasy football. Let's get the ball rolling with Isaiah Pacheco, the 7th round pick making waves in Kansas City.
Would he hand it off? Yes. Pacheco! Never goes down. Touchdown!
So here's the deal. The Chiefs have never really had that one go-to running back. But as the 2022 season progressed, Pacheco stepped up and took those first and second down duties away from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Well, Isaiah's stats aren't bad, but the thing is he only caught 13 passes, which obviously didn't do wonders for his fantasy points, giving him just 7.9 per game. Now, the reason why it must be on your fantasy radar is because he's a powerhouse running back on one of the most explosive offenses in the league. The only concern is that the Chiefs love to air it out towards the end, and none of those throws were heading Pacheco's way. Don't get me wrong, Isaiah's a beast on the field, but his pass-catching game isn't quite there yet. But he's been putting in the hard work to improve it.
For me, I love to compete, and I love the game, so it was hard watching that, but for the most part, just finding ways to get better, and that was in the classroom as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble if you draft him, but who knows? It might just pay off big time. As for Jaylen Warren, he's been generating a lot of buzz lately due to his impressive skills. But in the 2022 season, his incredible performance was completely overlooked.
14 touchdowns. Jaylen Warren with a nice block by Deontay Johnson. Warren turning on his speed, trying to get away from the defense. Jared Poyer can't get him. Jordan Porter.
During that season, he ranked 10th in yards per carry and 16th in yards after contact per attempt among all running backs. Now, with a PFF receiving grade of 79.8, he's sitting pretty as the 3rd highest among running backs. But it's not just numbers. Jalen's got the moves too. Like he lit up the preseason with a jaw-dropping 62-yard touchdown run, proving he's got that big playability. Besides this, he's taking some early down snaps with the starters. I'm calling it. Warren's role is only going to get bigger in the 2023 season, especially when the Steelers need a game changer, something a bit different from Harris's style. Now, when it comes to Rashad Penny, it's true that he's been prone to injuries.
And Penny gets some room down the sideline and takes it into Saints territory before he is shoved out of bounds.
But you know what? The same can be said for his Eagles teammate, DeAndre Swift, and yet Swift's going much early in the draft. Despite his health scares, you shouldn't take Penny lightly. After all, he's been one of the league's most efficient runners, averaging an incredible 5.7 yards per carry in his career. In Seattle, he was practically untouchable, with over 6 yards per carry for the past 2 seasons. And now, he's landed on a team with the NFL's #1 offensive line. Swift, on the other hand, is going to get his hands on those passes. No doubt about it. But let's get real, the Eagles don't exactly make it rain targets for their running backs. Like, it was just 61 times in 2022. Yep, that is the lowest in the league. Swift's career yards per attempt is 4.6, and sure, it might improve, but if you ask me, Penny's the one with the hidden value. So when it comes to fantasy football, he might just be the RB you've been looking for. Moving on to Khalil Herbert, who's currently chilling in the discount aisle of Chicago's crowd running back department. You see, it's often these unpredictable, crowded backfields that we find those breakout stars, and Herbert might just be the next one.
And is able to find Herbert with plenty of room to run again. A first down and more. There he goes with some blocks. Herbert still on his feet for the touchdown.
He's entering his 3rd NFL season, and the best thing is that he's the one constant in the Bears' running game, which puts him ahead of Deontay Foreman and Rashawn Johnson. During the 2022 season, his efficiency caught everyone's attention. Like he led the entire NFL in yards per attempt, averaging 5.67. What's even more impressive is his 3.67 yards after contact per attempt. Alright, I know his pass blocking skills and receiving game is still a work in progress. Sure, he might not be a pro at it with just 153 receiving yards in 2 seasons, but the good thing is that he's showing signs of improvement, and like that incredible 56-yard touchdown catch in the Bears' preseason game. So if he can continue with a decent performance, there's no reason he can't make a run for RB1 or RB2 status. Keep an eye on this man, he might just be your fantasy football steal of the year. Coming to Rachaad White, his situation in Tampa Bay is a bit unpredictable. You see, the Bucs offense could turn to a mess, but no matter what, White is going to be in the mix. With Leonard Fournette out of the picture, White stepping up as Tampa's new lead running back. And after an impressive rookie season from a fantasy standpoint, it's looking like he's about to have a breakout campaign his 2nd year. After all, he isn't just a ground pounder. He's also a solid choice for those check down passes out of the backfield, especially in the PPR leagues.
Brady throws
Rashad White, can he get there? Yes, touchdown.
He might not be setting a record yards per carry, but here's the thing. As long as he's getting those touches, and trust me, he will, he's going to be a productive choice for fantasy managers in 2023. So if you spot him in your draft, remember, he could be your ticket to success, especially in PPR leagues. Next up is Cam Akers, who had a wild 2022 fantasy season with the Rams. Basically, he was supposed to be the main man in their backfield, but then he had a disagreement with coach Sean McVay, and that made him virtually useless for the fantasy football managers. Now, just when you thought the game was over, he made an epic comeback and owned the field during the fantasy playoff. Not only is he proud of his game, but he hopes to improve even more for the 2023 season.
When the opportunity there and it presents itself, that's what I do, and hopefully, Lord willing, it'll roll over into this season.
Did something change? I mean, from the first half of the season to the bottom half? I mean, did you guys get better, or did you change?
We just got better.
Speaking of the 2023 season, he's back as the lead running back for the Rams. Yes, no more drama this time around. Last year, he was putting insane numbers with Baker Mayfield as his quarterback. And you know what? Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp are back in action, which should only make things easier for Akers. But the catch here is that he's flying under the radar despite all his potential. He's basically the sleeper of the year among running backs in 2023. Trust me, you could be getting yourself a secret weapon, an RB1 off the bat, so don't sleep on Cam. Besides Cam, Bijan Robinson has been creating a lot of buzz lately. In fact, he's been considered among the top running back prospects for the 2023 season.
Would you be surprised if I told you you were being drafted ahead of Saquon Barkley, ahead of Derrick Henry, ahead of Josh Jacobs, ahead of Nick Chubb? Like, those are the expectations people have.
I mean, hey, what a blessing. Hey, that's a blessing right there. But those are amazing running backs that you just named. But hey, hopefully I can live up to the standard and to what God has for me. So, and we'll see.
Some might even say he can go as high as top 10, but he's definitely going to be in the first round. Now, why is he so special? Well, he's got that perfect combo for an NFL bell cow. Like, he's got incredible strength and the vision and patience of a true elite. It's safe to say he's got the real deal since he proved himself over at Texas, and he can catch passes out of the backfield too. So if you're thinking of dynasty fantasy football drafts, he should be your top rookie RB pick, hands down. And in redraft leagues, depending on where he lands, he might just be a second-round pick. Listen, I'm not trying to hype him up too much, but you can't deny he's got that superstar potential, and he'll give you flashbacks to Ezekiel Elliott or Saquon Barkley in their prime. Speaking of successful draft picks, let's talk about Kenneth Walker.
Walker able to reverse his field. Walker inside the 10, barreling over tacklers.
This guy is out of Michigan State and was seen as a solid first and second down back in the 2022 season. But trust me, no one had really expected him to make a big splash in the first year. Well, something unexpected happened in Week 5. Actually, Rashad Penny got injured and Walker got the chance to shine as the lead back for the rest of the season. And oh boy did he deliver. He was putting up an impressive 13.95 points per game from Week 6 onwards. Seriously, Walker's got mad skills, and he's going to have some big games in the 2023 season, so keep an eye out for him. Following up, let me shift focus to Tony Pollard's situation in Dallas. With Ezekiel Elliott out of the picture, Pollard got the opportunity to be the team's lead running back. During the 2022 season, he finished as the RB7 in fantasy.
What a job Rush did. Cowboys complete it to Pollard in a sprint. Pollard, touchdown Dallas.
Mind you, he did it while not even cracking the top 25 in touches per game. He really made the most of his chances right there, didn't he? Besides this, his efficiency was off the charts. Like, he was averaging 5.3 yards per carry. And when he played as the team's featured back, he was the highest scoring running back in fantasy with a stellar 19.3 points per game. Plus, the exciting thing is the competition in Dallas is pretty thin, with names like Rico Dowdle and Malik Turner. Not to mention, any fears of Ezekiel Elliott coming back have vanished since he's now signed with New England. Clearly, it's Pollard's time to shine. Just like Tony, Breece Hall's got serious talent. When he was picked in the second round of the 2022 NFL Draft, it was pretty clear that he had a role in offense sooner or later. Initially, he played safe, but once he got confident, this man was averaging a whopping 21.2 points per game from weeks 4 through 7.
And a beauty, Hall running free, Breece Hall inside the 10, he's gonna score! Touchdown, Jets!
Sure, he suffered an injury later, but he had plenty of time to recover. His skills alone make him an amazing prospect for fantasy football. Plus, his upside has always been incredible, way better than many big names in the league. So there you have it. These were the top 10 RBs to target this season in fantasy football.